All right, now that we have built different pieces, we are ready to paginate the data. So currently in handle page change method, we update the state, we set the current page. As you know, this will cause a new rendering. Here in the render method, currently we are rendering the movies that we have in the state object. Now this is our original list of movies. We don't want to change this list. As we paginate the movies or search for them or filter them, we want to create a separate array. That is the array that we're going to render here. So here's one solution. Here in the render method, we have the page size and the current page. Based on these values, we can paginate the data. So here, if count is not 0, we're going to create a new array. We're going to call that movies, and somehow we're going to paginate the data, get a new array, and store it in this constant. So how do we do this? Well, the pagination algorithm is something that we probably need to use in different places in this application or even in different applications. So we don't want to implement that algorithm here. Firstly, it will bloat this render method. Secondly, we won't be able to reuse it. So here in the project folder, under the source folder, I'm going to add a new folder. Let's call that utils. Here we're going to have all sorts of utility classes and functions. Let's add a new file here. Call it paginate.js. In this module, I'm going to import Lodash because Lodash has a bunch of utility methods that we can use to implement pagination. So implement underscore from Lodash. Now here we're going to export a function, call it paginate. What parameters do we need here? We need an array of items as well as the page number and page size. Now to paginate the data, first we need to calculate the starting index of the items on this page. And here's the formula for that. We define a constant, call it start index, and set it to page number minus 1 times page size. Now we can use Lodash to go to this start index and take all the items for the current page. So here in Lodash, we have the slice method. We pass our items array here and give it the start index. So this method will slice our array starting from this index. Now that we have a new array, we can go to this array and pick items for the current page. Once again, Lodash has a method for that. That is the take method. So we give it an array and the total number of items we want to take from that array. So we're going to use two of the methods in Lodash, but in order to call these methods using a chain, first we need to convert this items array to a Lodash wrapper. So this is how we do that. Underscore, parenthesis, items. This will return a Lodash object, and with that we can chain all the Lodash methods like this. So dot slice, dot take, dot whatever. So this makes our code more fluent. So now we go back to our slice method, start from this index, and then take items for this current page. That should be page size or less. Now finally, we need to convert this Lodash wrapper object to a regular array. And for that, we should chain the value method. This will return a regular array and we'll return that from this function. So this is how we can paginate data on the client side. Now in this section, we're not going to look at pagination on the server. That's an entirely different topic. We can come back to that later when we talk about calling backend services. So we have a paginate function. Let's go back to our movies component, import it on the top. So import paginate from, we go one level up, go to the utils folder and import the paginate module. Now let's go to our render method. So command and P, @render. We quickly jump here. So we are ready to paginate our movies. We call our paginate function, give it our array of movies. So that is this, that state, that movies. Or we could simplify this. So Here, when we are destructuring the state object, we could also pick the movies property and then simply pass the movies here. Now, the second argument is the current page. So we pass that here. And finally, page size. Finally, we should change this expression. So instead of rendering the movies in the state object, we're going to render the movies that are local in this method. Save. Let's test the application. All right, we have an error here, duplicate declaration of movies. Because here when destructuring, we defined this movies constant, but we also have another movies here. So we can rename this movies to all movies. That's more clear. And here we'll pass all movies to the paginate function. Now back in the browser. So currently we have only 4 items here because we set the page size to 4. We can go to different pages and see different movies. So we successfully implemented pagination.